Well, if you've been glued to the Weather Network the last few days, you know that Ontario into Quebec, up through the Ottawa Valley, and now into eastern Canada has been really getting hit hard with an area of low pressure. But the odd thing about this area of low pressure is that it's been very mild. In fact, today we see temperatures in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia into the double digits. So that's under the warm front of the system. And it all depends on where you are in relationship to the system, depends on what type of precipitation you may see. And we're going to put all eyes on the next storm that's moving on the west coast into the weekend and into early next week. And we'll see what type of precipitation they may or may not see. Could Vancouver actually get their first snowfall? I don't know. We'll have a look. First, though, let's take a look at Ontario, though. It's all about the snow squalls behind that system. We see northwesterly winds setting up. And this is Gabriella with her friend Pablo the penguin enjoying the winter weather. And we have now snow squall warnings out for southern Ontario. If you live in that region, do note that the typical snowbelt regions through London, Strathroy could get a good dose of snow, about 15 centimeters. I also wanted to show this photo on the west coast, a beautiful Okanagan sunset. The reason I'm taking you to the west is because that is where we're going to take a look at our next storm setup. So the first thing we look at are weather models. You probably hear meteorologists say that a lot. What does it mean? Well, it's a snapshot of the atmosphere at a specific time. So this is a look at the high level of the atmosphere, what we call the jet stream level. And that's one of the first things that we look for is, do we have an upper level trough or an upper level support, disturbance? We do on the west coast. This is called a jet streak, a very fast channel of moving winds. And we see winds moving very fast at all different levels, but that's the first step that we look for. We also look at what's happening in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and we look for something called vorticity. So we found that there is a vorticity maximum on the west coast. That verifies likely there's going to be upward motion or a storm. At the surface, we see precipitation forming. What type of precipitation is important, though? So with this storm, this is a look at Sunday. Looks like Vancouver and the west coast, it'll be straight rain. But another layer of the atmosphere we look at is the 850 millibar level, which is about 1,500 meters above the surface. That can determine our temperatures that may or may not support snow. We see cold enough air in place on the west coast, minus 18s, and I zoomed in there on the left. That could support snow, but by that point the system's moving east into the interior, so it looks like Vancouver may not get their first snowfall, but that system becomes a powerful one through the prairies.